Can I have a motion to resume public session? Dr. Richards, Ms. Davis, all in favor? The vote is unanimous. We're now back in public session. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we have any agenda changes?
To personnel.
Thank you. So I just wanted to take a minute to welcome everybody that's here tonight on this kind of rainy fall evening. We're very glad to see you. Also seeing many athletes and families out on the fields as you drive by. So it's good to know the colder weather is not deterring anyone from enjoying their extracurricular activities. We have homecoming up this week, so we're very excited to see all of our kids, all of our staff, all the work that everybody's been doing towards this year. We had many events throughout the district over the past couple of weeks. Brasser had their Apple Dumpling Festival fundraiser. There is a lot of open houses at all of our buildings. So it's always really exciting just to see people in that different type of atmosphere than you do throughout the workday. And just take a moment to recognize that it is National Principals Month. Sorry, it felt like I was missing a word when I was saying that. National Principals Month. So thank you to all of our principals for all the work and dedication they put to support our students and our district. Do we have any points of interest? Okay. Oh, Ms. Kais?
Since the last board meeting, I attended Brasser's Meet the Teacher Night. Saw you there. And Michelle with her family. I was there for a different reason. I don't have a student at Brasser anymore, but it looked like it was a very well-attended event. The kids seemed to be having a good time having their parents there. We also had a home football game since our last meeting. Again, seemed pretty well-attended, and I was there helping out with the marching band, which put on a great show. And then, yes, on Saturday, this past weekend, we had the bottle and can drive for the music boosters. They had a really good turnout from that. They were able to fill almost 2 trailers full. So it was nice to see the community donate those bottles and cans to help out our music kiddos.
Thank you so much. Any other points of interest? Okay. Do we have any reports of meetings? Dr. Richards?
Good evening. I just wanted to briefly talk about the voting delegates meeting that was held, well, actually the orientation, and that I will be attending the meeting tomorrow, Thursday evening, for the voting of our resolutions for the board, and look to represent you well.
Thank you. Anything else? Okay. Do we have any visitor comments? Seeing none, we'll move forward to reports. We have our curriculum and instruction report.
Good evening, Superintendent Daly, President Coffey, and Vice President Richards, as well as members of the board. Thank you for this opportunity to provide you with our annual update this evening. So tonight I'm joined with an incredible group of leaders who are beside me or behind me. We have Ms. Kuhn, Dr. Lyon, Ms. Marsh, and Ms. Messino. And I am Troy Owen, Assistant Superintendent for Instruction, and we're happy to be able to share some of the great things that are happening throughout the district related to curriculum, instruction, and assessment. And so we're very fortunate to have the team behind me to be able to continue the great work that we're doing, but their hard work and their commitment to that is truly impressive. And you're going to hear firsthand about the powerful actions that they're helping to co-facilitate and co-lead throughout the district tonight. In addition to our leaders, our instructional coaches are extremely valuable to our students and our staff. Though the titles are different, the work that they do is very much aligned with instructional coaches and supporting our students and staff, as I shared, as well as building leaders and teacher leaders. Last but certainly not least, our team rounds out with our administrative assistants, Lindsay and Joanna. We truly appreciate everything that they do and could not do that without their support for us, but also the entire instructional staff that they work with on a daily basis. Our rigor framework is not new. You've seen that in previous years and updates, however, it is what we leverage to define the work that we do and to work collaboratively to not only develop what that framework is and what that means to us, but the lens that we use to support teaching and learning throughout the district. So what is MTSS, Multi-Tiered Systems of Support? It's a framework that addresses 3 areas, as you can see: academic, behavioral, and social emotional. It's proactive and data-driven and utilizes 3 tiers to approach the work that we do. And so we're going to focus in on Tier 1, all students, but you can see there are 2 other tiers where we are Tier 3 with some students, as well as Tier 2 with some students and Tier 3 with a few students. And so we're going to focus specifically on Tier 1 and really thinking about Tier 1 and MTSS like a foundation of a house. And just as a foundation supports the entire structure, Tier 1 supports all students by providing strong, universal instruction and interventions that are essential for everyone. It's a solid base upon which the other 2 levels of support are built upon. Specifically in the Tier 1, we've done a lot of work over the last year plus, focusing on building and strengthening foundations through several key areas: Tier 1 structures, data protocols, high quality literacy instruction, as well as equitable grading practices. Each of the components have been developed with great intention and have taken more than a year of planning, training, and implementation. We have intentionally aligned this work with our strategic plan for equity, as well as our rigor framework, to ensure that each teacher and student has access to the necessary tools and support for academic success. Our focus on Tier 1 has already led to noticeable improvements, and we are seeing early indicators of success, demonstrating that our efforts are positively impacting student outcomes. With these successes in mind, I'll now turn it over to Mrs. Marsh, who will share more about Tier 1 structures.
Good evening. So as Troy just shared, we have been intentionally focused on building a strong foundation of Tier 1 structures to support our district MTSS work. In the past, academics, behaviors, and social emotional learning were areas of focus, but were done more so in a siloed approach. MTSS Tier 1 focuses on all 3 areas and how we plan to teach, monitor, and support the whole child. Together with the Student Support Services team, we have intentionally begun to build more focused Tier 1, interconnected foundation, just like the house that Troy talked about, so we are not all working in silos and can better support our students to thrive. The work of the Office of Instruction is specifically focused on Tier 1 universal processes to support academics. We have been and continue to focus on consistent curriculum and instruction aligned to our standards. And also it's assisted consistent assessment practices, specifically around universal screening, common assessments, and progress monitoring. In order to support the curriculum and assessment, we have also intentionally prioritized the development of a consistent Tier 1 meeting structure. This is where our grade level teams, departments, and other collaborative groups come together. It involves carved out time, specifically around collaboration, and also having a consistent agenda so that we know that they are focused on the parts of our MTSS Tier 1. This was intentionally prioritized because we know that time is essential for enhancing communication across staff, fostering collaboration, and also driving continuous improvement. In addition, we have developed a consistent data process to gain insights into our current realities and to also better evaluate the effectiveness of our Tier 1 program. We had our first data day this week, and it was an incredible opportunity for our staff to all learn the process as well as look at some Gates Child Eye data. I'd like to introduce Dr. Heather Lyon to talk a little bit more about this.
Good evening. All right. So when talking about our data, and our use of data, we've been thinking about this in terms of past, present, and future. And in the past, the use of data was intermittent and really was driven by the teachers and whether or not they had comfort with it and not necessarily coordinated across the district. Our present approach is to build the teacher and administrator capacity and understanding of data using common protocols so that in the future, rather than looking at data as an event, it will be a part of what we do on a regular basis and integrated. To do that, we're using a 3-phase protocol. And this past week on our first ever Data Day, we helped teachers go through the first 2 phases, phase 1 being to study the data and phase 2 being to plan based on the data. And then phase 3, which is the act phase, is really what takes place now on a daily basis in our schools across the district. I would like to now turn it over to Sarah to share with you about literacy.
Good evening. So as Terry shared, as an Office of Instruction, we have been really focused on enhancing our Tier 1 programs district-wide. At the elementary and secondary levels, we've had a very specific focus on our literacy programs. At the elementary level, we have been focused on enhancing our program and aligning with reading research. And to develop our comprehensive literacy program, we've been focused on the 5 areas that you see up on our slide. Knowledgeable staff, which is strategically listed first, as we continue our commitment to professional learning and building the capacity and supporting teachers with the application of this learning from the professional learning opportunity into their instructional practice within each of their classrooms. This includes consistent professional learning and allows them to build a common knowledge base for all. The learning opportunities have been thoughtfully planned, and we have opportunity for classroom teachers to meet district-wide with their grade level peers in order to reflect on instructional practice and plan moving forward collaboratively. Instructional leaders, including members of the Office of Instruction and our building leaders, are also participating in learning sessions to help lead this work forward. Instructional minutes this year have been further defined to ensure equitable access for all of our students. This includes being more intentional with the literacy time allotted in each of the buildings and providing students opportunities to get what they need. So this allows grade levels to work together and collaborate and provide students with reinforcement, intervention, and/or enrichment opportunities. We continue to review the current assessments, and we make adjustments to ensure we are building an assessment system that comprises universal screening, diagnostic assessment opportunities, and progress monitoring so that we can continue to make informed instructional decisions within classrooms and programmatically. This year, we've worked to provide instructional resources that are developmentally sequenced, use research and evidence-based instructional practices, and address all the essential components of literacy instruction. And as we continue to build our staff capacity and make shifts in our program, we recognize the importance that families play in our students' education. And we are evaluating and looking upon how we can improve the way we communicate with families about student learning and provide opportunities for families to engage in their students' learning. I'd like to hand it over to Katie Kuhn regarding secondary.
So you've heard a lot about elementary literacy over the past couple of years. We're really excited to shift that focus to the secondary level. Not sure if you caught it on Troy's introduction of our team, but we've added a 612 literacy coach to that coaching team. So we're really excited to extend and align the work that has happened at the elementary level while supporting teachers and strengthening their literacy instruction across all content areas at the middle and high school level. Jen Russo will work very closely with the middle and high school teachers to implement some of those evidence-based practices that you've heard so much about, provide targeted support with the ultimate goal being students' academic success. And so in response to this growing focus on literacy at the secondary level, we're also expanding our GC literacy team to include a secondary 612 team. So this team will collaborate regularly with the elementary team, but also focus specifically on the unique literacy needs of middle and high school students. Together, these two teams will work to assess needs and make recommendations for improving literacy district-wide. We're committed to providing ongoing professional learning for secondary teachers, emphasizing literacy instruction across all subjects. This is really important for secondary teachers who are most typically content experts and maybe not specialists in literacy and reading. So we're excited to give them some strategies to effectively support students' reading and writing development in all disciplines. One of our key goals is to ensure alignment between curriculum assessment and instructional strategies. Our new literacy coach and this expanded team will play an essential role in developing cohesive literacy instruction at the secondary level. So last year, our teacher leaders engaged in a book study that you heard about and spent time learning about equitable grading practices and then sharing that learning with their colleagues. This summer, we formed an equitable grading task force that was made up of teachers from all different content areas, middle school, high school, district and building level administrators, some of our coaches and high school counselors came together for 2 days this summer to start the work, which will continue throughout this year. The charge of this task force is to explore, understand, and address the complexities of our current grading and assessment practices here in Gates-Chili, with the ultimate goal being to make recommendations for grading practices that are consistent, equitable, inclusive, and most importantly, supportive of students' academic success and well-being. So when we talk about equitable grading practices, we really are anchoring into these principles as we make recommendations, like are we meeting these goals here? When we refer to accurately and mathematically sound practices, that means that our grades should genuinely represent students' understanding of and mastery of material. We want to value students' knowledge separately from their environment and behavior, making sure that their grades reflect what they know and can do rather than factors that might be outside of their control. We want to evaluate students solely based on their level of content mastery, making sure that students are all held to the same standards, focusing on their academic achievements. Supporting hope and a growth mindset among our students really emphasizes growth and improvement and encourages students to view challenges as opportunities for learning. And when we talk about lifting the veil on how to succeed, that means we want to provide clear guidance on what is expected so that students understand their learning targets, their success criteria, and the path to achieving their goals. And then lastly, it's really crucial that we continue to build students' soft skills and motivate them without tying them directly to their grades. This allows us to recognize important interpersonal skills, resilience, and effort without penalizing students in their overall academic achievement. Together, these principles are going to be guiding our efforts to create a grading system that's fair, supportive, and focused on student success. We would love some questions. Troy would love some questions.
On the equitable grading process, when I was reading that, what came to my mind was taking away your biases when you're grading. Is that what you're getting at there?
Right, really trying to take the subjectivity out of it. We really, as a district, have never, and I should have prefaced this, obviously my role is secondary, the grading task force is focusing on 6-12 right now because the grading system is so different at middle school and high school. Taking that subjectivity out of it, without any clear guidance, you know, sometimes when teachers have categories such as participation, effort, how are we ranking that? What's the criteria for that? How do we know your effort in that class is rated the same way as in this class? So it's really trying to take that subjectivity out of it and making sure that grades are based on their academic understanding of the standards.
Mr. Moscato?
So just to follow up a little bit on that, are we suggesting that we're going to come up with a system where every teacher will grade based upon a set of subsets of whatever? That is, if I want to use participation and she doesn't, well, that's not going to work. Either it is or it isn't. Is that what
Right.
we're going for?
We are going for consistent grading categories, yeah. So some guidance is what we're looking to put out for teachers as guidance around how we grade students. So if you are going to count participation and effort, what's the criteria there? What do we mean? That the students have a rubric to understand what participation looks like. Maybe they have a checklist. But if we are going to use those grading categories, giving teachers clear guidance so that we can ensure that they're grading students in the same way. And common assessments has a lot to do with it as well.
And how do we plan on enforcing that?
It would be with checking with student progress reports, checking in with teachers through the Tier 1 meeting structures that they're having as departments and collaborating around common assessments and calibrating when they do that grading. We can see teachers grading categories in School Tool right now, so that's another, I mean, they're required to put those categories in there that we can manage.
Okay. Good luck.
Any additional questions? Thank you, guys.
Good job.
Have a good night, you guys. And then moving forward for discussion items, we have Education Foundation update.
Well, it was a riveting meeting. Once again, they were very appreciative of what Mrs. Petrosino and the Communications Department has done to update their webpage. They're still looking for more members to join. They were very excited that they sold $80 worth of gibbets at the GC open houses. And for those who don't know, those are the things you stick in your cracks. They're GCs, and they're available for purchase if you really want one. They were real excited when I shared that we've booked April 10th for the Dr. Ball Elementary Volleyball Tournament for this year. So,
It's a good name.
yes, have a ball playing volleyball. So again, our elementaries will play against each other, and our announcer will once again be Mr. Hamill. And so we'll have that on April 10th. More to come about that. That'll be the biggest fundraiser this year for our foundation. They also wanted to make sure everybody knew grant applications are being accepted through October 15th and will be evaluated at our next meeting. And people will be notified shortly after if their grants were accepted. And then the meeting adjourned.
Thank you. That moves us forward now to consensus items. Can I have a motion to approve the consensus agenda? Can I have a motion? Dr. Richards, Ms. Davis, any discussion?
I have a question.
Yeah. Sorry, yes, ma'am.
Do we typically add I blanked on this, transportation appeal into the consent agenda as well? Do we vote on that twice?
Nope. We do it as an action item, I believe.
I think it's usually action.
Is it in consensus?
It's not in either. It's not on our agenda.
Oh. Hold, please. Like, sing that waiting song music in your head while we process. Thank you.
Thought it was here. All right, then we can do an agenda to add action item D. If there's a motion.
Motion to
You-
add.
You would ask at this time to have a motion to add.
At this time, we're requesting a motion to add action item D,
Attendance appeal for student A.
attendance appeal for student A. Bus appeal, transportation appeal? Yes, transportation appeal. We got this. For student A, can I have a motion, please? Ms. Kais, Ms. Littlewood? All in favor? The vote is unanimous. We are adding action D to the consensus items. No?
To the action items.
To the action items.
Yep.
Thank you, Ms. Kais.
I'll remind you when we get there.
Thank you. All right. Looping back to consensus items, did I take a motion?
Yeah.
We are at discussion. Okay, so we had a motion to approve the consensus agenda. Any discussion? All in favor? The vote is unanimous. Can I now have a motion to approve consensus items C through K? Can I have a motion? Ms. Urbanowski, Ms. Littlewood, any discussion? All in favor? The vote is unanimous. Moving on to action items. We have action item A. Can I have a motion to approve the independent audit for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2024, as presented by EFPR Group, LLP? Can I have a motion, please? Ms. Davis? Ms. Littlewood, any discussion? All in favor? The vote is unanimous. Action item B. I have a motion to approve the extra classroom activity funds fourth quarter and final financial reports for year ended June 30th, 2024. Can I have a motion? Dr. Richards? Ms. Davis? Any discussion? All in favor? The vote is unanimous. Action item C, be it resolved that the Board of Education approves the written agreement between the Superintendent of Schools of the Gates-Chili Central School District and an employee A of the district as discussed in executive session and executed on October 3rd, 2024. Can I have a motion? Dr. Richards? Ms. Davis? All in favor? Oh, sorry, any discussion? All in favor? The vote is unanimous. Action item D,
Motion to uphold
motion to uphold
the transportation appeal decision.
the transportation appeal decision for student A. All in favor? Oh, have a motion, guys. I'm working on it. Ms. Davis, Ms. Littlewood, any discussion? All in favor? The vote is unanimous. All right, superintendent's comments.
Well, the fall
No,
air,
oh, hold on. What?
Yep.
Pause that for one moment, sorry. All right, do I have to do a motion again? Okay. We're going to redo the motion for action item D, the transportation settlement that
just a
we,
vote.
okay. Okay,
Those in favor,
okay.
opposed?
Do I have to do it by person, or can I do all who uphold?
Yep.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate the mentoring. All right. All in favor of upholding the determination? Guys, I don't know if I
You have to
have.
raise your hand.
Okay, so 1, 2. All right, we have 5 upholding.
Opposed?
All opposed? 1 opposed? Any abstentions? 2 abstentions. Thank you. All right, superintendent's comments.
The fall air is finally here. And for the Gates-Chili Performing Arts Center, that means music is also filling the air. Thank you. Next Wednesday, October 16th, Gates-Chili Middle School and High School concert bands will have a unique opportunity to play alongside the Dallas Brass in concert. Like our district, they believe that music enriches the lives and makes the world a better place, so their mission is to motivate and inspire band students, their families, and communities to embrace the musical arts. The show begins at 7 p.m., and tickets are $5. Students and children are free. Meanwhile, the Gates-Chili High School Fall Drama is taking us back in time later this month at their performance of Sam Shovel, Private Eye. Set in the smoky streets of a gritty city, this hilarious 1940s detective noir parody follows Private Eye Sam Shovel as she navigates the twists and turns of a mystery tied to the fashion world. Tickets are on sale now for the October 24th performance. It all kicks off at 7 p.m. in the GC PAC. Get your general admission tickets at gateschili.org/tickets. Then next month, fall down the rabbit hole with our middle school musicians as they present Disney's Alice in Wonderland Jr. This zany musical adapted for middle school age performers will be in the GC PAC November 14th and 15th, and tickets for that show go on sale on October 28th. Our Brasser Bears welcomed the fall season in with their annual Apple Dumpling Festival put on by the FBFA. It was a great time for all our Bears and their families. It was well attended and a great way to welcome in the fall weather. Meanwhile, our Disney Dragons had a thrilling time at their Fall Family Fun event. The event featured hay rides, a petting zoo, and other fun activities. It was a great time to make connections and enjoy some fun together. Next week, Paul Road will have their turn for a fall event with their Harvest Fest on October 24th from 5 to 7 p.m., followed by Neil Armstrong's Autumn Extravaganza on October 30th from 5:30 to 7:30. And please don't forget our district Fall Family Fest is a month away on Thursday, November 7th in the Spartan Fieldhouse. You'll see more information about this event in the coming weeks, including details on where to drop donations for our Spartan Way Coat Drive. Fall also means college planning time for many high school students and their families. Tomorrow, the high school will be holding its annual financial aid night, It starts at 6 p.m. in our high school library mezzanine. The district is also offering 2 parent-guardian engagement opportunities related to social media. The first one is a virtual session that we're hosting here in the GCPLC on Thursday, October 24th from 6 to 8 p.m. It's called Digital Dangers. Experts from the FBI Buffalo office will discuss real-life examples of how predators and criminals may be manipulating youth online. They'll share warning signs and ways to empower yourself to help prevent students from becoming victims. This one is only for high school and middle school parents and guardians, and space is limited, so please register early. Our second event is in person Tuesday, October 29th from 5:30 to 6:30. It's called Social Media and Your Kids. This one includes free pizza dinner beforehand and free childcare for those who need it. It will go over about the impact social media is having on our students' brains. It's offered by the high school and middle school, but it's open to any parent guardian in the district. Register for both of these events in Parent Square. And speaking of Parent Square, we are now up to 67% of parents, guardians in the district who have registered their accounts. We saw the increase come as a result of our open house and meet the staff nights. Remember, registering your PSQ account unlocks many more features for engaging with your student's school. And as earlier referenced by our outstanding curriculum department, our first day of data was huge on Wednesday. All our teachers were given time to meet to break down assessment data for their students and help target areas for individual growth and needs. A huge credit to our curriculum department for making this day a powerful one for our district, one of many that will be coming. And an important reminder that this Friday, October 11th, there is no school for students UPK through 12. We have a jam-packed day of staff learning planned, including the return of featured speaker, Dr. Abdul Malik Muhammad. He and his team are partnering with Gates Chiley this year to support our understanding and use of restorative practices. We're looking forward to having him back in GC this week. And remember that next week, when we return after our long weekend, it's homecoming. The week will feature lots of fun events and spirit days across all levels. We hope to see everyone out and about supporting our various athletic teams throughout the week. And next week, we'll also kick off the Gates Chiley Wellness Committee's Hydration Challenge. The month-long challenge for staff will run from October 15th through November 15th. This is the first event of the Gates Chiley Staff Wellness Program, Spartan Strong. We look forward to helping each other stay hydrated and build new routines around hydration. And as a district, we'll be recognizing Red Ribbon Week later this month. The annual celebration, which this year is from October 28th through November 1st, celebrates and educates about living a drug and chemically free lifestyle. This year's theme is Life is a Movie, Film Drug Free. Schools will be participating in many activities related to the theme throughout the week. And then each October, it's National Principals Month, and it recognizes the essential role that principals play in making a school great. Principals are among the hardest working yet often least recognized individuals in education. They set the academic expectations for our entire building, and their vision and leadership is key to student success. So to our 6 principals, Mrs. Kataya, Dr. Zanowski, Mr. Hamill, Mrs. Scott, Mrs. Eugene, and Mr. Young, thank you for all that you do. And finally, in addition to celebrating National Principals Month, next week, Gates Chiley joins NYSBA in celebrating School Board Recognition Week. I want to thank each of our board members for their dedication, time, professionalism, and care for each of our Spartan students, administrators, faculty, and staff that they exhibit each day. Please accept our small token of our appreciation and thank you for all that you do to make GC the place to be. That is my report, Mrs. Coffey.
Thank you, sir. On that note, could I have a motion to adjourn our meeting? Ms. Jennings? Ms. Davis? Any discussion? All in favor? The vote is unanimous. We're adjourned. Have a good evening.